Hello, thank you so much for making this possible. I really appreciate it, you and your management team.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. And this is Chester. He says hello. He does all of the podcasts with me.
That is amazing. Firstly, I have to ask, how did you come up with your wrestling name? It's so cool, such a amazing homage to your father.
Thank you so much. Yeah, of course, I wanted to honor my father's legacy. So I kept the word dynamite in there. And I've always been a bit of a doll. My mom always dressed me to the T's when I was little growing up. She'd always curl my hair, and I'd be in the fanciest dresses in kindergarten. That my teacher used to call me hairdo. So I was kind of just, I've always been this doll. I love fashion, I love makeup. And so just really putting the two together, it just really fit and suits me to a T.
Yeah, I gotta say it again, an amazing name. And did
Thank
you always
you.
want to become a wrestler, or was there any other thing you wanted to do before it?
So I'm a wrestling manager. I don't actually wrestle, but did I always want to do it? Well, since I was a little girl, I was always backstage at WWF shows. And people like Miss Elizabeth, I was always hanging out with her and Macho Man. And so I always looked up to Miss Elizabeth. She was always my idol. So I always loved her fancy dresses, again, the fashion and, um, being in her man's corner and the emotional side of it, like the emotion she would show ringside. And so whenever I'd play with my cousins, we always had a wrestling ring wherever we went, my house, my cousin's house, our grandparents' house. I'd always be like, I'm Miss Elizabeth, and they would pick what wrestler they were, but I was always Miss Elizabeth. So I always think I knew that I gravitated towards the manager role more than wanting to hit the ropes.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That definitely takes a toll on every wrestler's body, especially your dad's. He's probably
Exactly.
the best example of that. But if you weren't a
Yeah.
manager, is there anything else that you'd want to be doing?
I'm branching out into a lot of different areas right now in my wrestling career that's all connected. Like I'm starting my own podcast, so you might be able to give me some tips here because I think you have had more episodes than I have. I'm so proud of you at such a young age. Like, good for you. It's
Thank you
not
so much.
easy.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
so I'm starting my own podcast. I love modeling. I love music, so I just love going to live events, collaborating with, I've been collaborating with hip hop artists here in Calgary. Um, yeah, what else would I do? Just fashion, anything involved in fashion, makeup. I work in the beauty industry, so I
Hmm.
kind of eat, sleep, and breathe that makeup, hair, all that
Yeah,
fashion.
that's so cool. Is there anything specific that you do on your podcast?
It's loosely wrestling based. So, it could be, you don't have to be a wrestler, or it could be like maybe you're a referee, or we met at a wrestling show, or, just whatever, just loosely wrestling based. But I want it to be kind of covering all my passions, which is wrestling, music, fashion. So I'll kind of tap into all that with my guests, like what kind of music they like and what their fashion sense is, and just kind of bring that flavor of, what the Dynamite Doll represents.
Yeah, that's awesome. Starting a podcast definitely can be hard, but it is so fun, so worth it.
Yeah,
And
when did you start yours?
just a few months ago, honestly, I think I have a bit over 200 subscribers, but that's from interviewing them and then promoting it. So I'm
That's so
sure you could
great.
reach so much higher than that before I do.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I will share all your interviews and make sure that my
Thank
followers
you.
follow you too.
Thank you so much. Do you ever feel any pressure being the daughter of the Dynamite Kid?
I certainly have. Um, we talked about, or you already mentioned, like my father's injuries, and
Mm.
that kind of played a role into me not wanting to put my body through that necessarily, because I saw it firsthand.
Mhm.
So, but there was, once I got involved in wrestling, kind of that pressure of, and a lot of it is me putting that own pressure on myself, is like, am I doing enough? Like, does my manager role speak volumes? Like, am I adding to the show? Do people think that, I'm just taking up space on the show. So there's that pressure of that. And like, because some people don't really understand the manager role or they don't appreciate it. Or so there was that pressure of like, am I doing enough? Do I belong here? Am I valued? And it took me a long time. Like more recently, I've really come into my own. I'm in my 40s now. And I think at that age, you become more comfortable in your own skin and you know what you want and you know what you bring to the table. And so I know that now I'm getting a better idea of like the well-rounded um, character and not just character, but what I have to bring to the table. Because there are so many things. I could be backstage interviewing. I could be, a manager. I could be my own. Like I could have my own wrestling promotion. Like I don't just have to stick to one thing. I can be doing so much. I can do wrestling conventions like I just did in Montreal. I'm trying to branch out and do more of that. So yes, there's always pressure when your parent was, someone so successful in whatever industry that they were in. You feel that pressure of filling those shoes, so to speak. But I just had to really focus on I'm different. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not my dad. I'm his daughter. I'm going to carry on his legacy the best I can, but I have my own path. So you just have to really carve it out and believe in yourself.
Mhm. What are some of the ways that you help continue his legacy?
So they're currently in production, making a movie on my father. So it's really
Oh
exciting.
wow, I didn't hear
Yeah.
about that. That's amazing.
Yes, I just announced it July when I went to Philadelphia to Battleground Championship Wrestling. I went there and I announced to the world about the movie. I absolutely love Philadelphia. I love the promotion that I work out there with. And so I wanted to announce it there. The wrestling fans there are like so loyal. It's such a great sports city. Philadelphia fans are the best fans in the world. So I wanted to announce the movie there. And so it's in production. So I'm just traveling. What I'm trying to do is branch out more to different parts of Canada. So that was my first time coming to Montreal a few weekends ago,
Hmm.
and going to the States more and just traveling with his, we call it like the Dynamite Museum. Like I have some of his memorabilia that I bring with me, and I just talk about the movie and promoting the movie. I'm going to be going to England, hopefully. Like I should find out really soon if we got accepted, but to the big wrestling convention that they have there in February. So I'm just trying to branch out as much as I can and share the movie. And I run all his social media, so his Instagram, I run all that. I post all the pictures and merchandise. So I'm trying to get, like, I have t-shirts and I'm trying to get more figures and stuff like that. So those are just some of the ways that I keep his legacy alive.
Yeah, that is so cool. Unfortunately,
Thank
when you
you.
came to Montreal, I was
You
unable to
were
attend,
sick.
but
Yeah.
it's amazing that you came to Montreal as my home city. How was it here?
It was so great, but I really didn't get to see much of Montreal. I was in and out. I was only there for one night.
Hmm.
But I was there for the convention and I had a blast and made good connections, and that's what it's all about. So I definitely need to come back and like see more of the city. And I had a poutine, but I don't think
Oh, that's awesome.
it didn't taste any different than what we eat here. So I don't think I went to the right place. But
Yeah,
it was like
yeah. Some of the
called.
places aren't the right, but if you find that right place, it'll change
You'll
your
have to tell
change
me
your
where to
opinion.
go next time.
Hmm. Do you do a lot of conventions?
So that was actually my first convention.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this promotion that I work for in Philadelphia, they do before the wrestling show in the daytime, they'll do a meet and greet. So it's kind of like a convention, but it's not really a convention, but they'll do
Hmm.
like a meet and greet for 3 hours before the wrestling show. So I've done a lot of that. But that was my first real convention. I've done it's kind of like a Comic-Con I've done in
Hmm.
Alberta. And then I did that Montreal convention, and I'm hoping to go to the one in February in England, and I'm really trying to get out to more in the States. So that's
Hmm.
why I'm like frequenting Philadelphia, because then I can like start hitting more cities like, Jersey, New York, um, Texas, stuff like that, and just branch out because they have conventions so much more in the States than we do here in Canada. So that it was
Yeah.
awesome that there was one in Montreal, and I hope they do it again next year and you'll be able to go and not be sick, hopefully.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I wanted to ask you something. I saw an interview with your dad, and he was asked if, when he was still wrestling, if he knew how much of an impact he would have, and he said he had no idea. Do you think he was being humble, or he really had no idea how great he was?
So my dad was super humble. That's one of his qualities that are most noted about him. He never he wasn't a big ego guy. He liked to remain humble.
Hmm.
And I try to instill that in me as well. I've always tried to remain humble, remember where you come from, remember the little people. And I truly believe my dad did not know,
Hmm.
did not know the impact he had on the wrestling business, especially because he was not big into like social media or computers.
Hmm.
So he wasn't online seeing comments. He wasn't seeing, old matches. He just lived it. He didn't have a computer. So when I went to England in the 2000 2010 or 11, I
Hmm.
took my laptop and I took a bunch of the old DVDs. They have like the best of the British Bulldogs in Japan DVDs, and I watched those with him. And he could remember all the spots of the matches. He
Oh,
would call it out, but he was like, I haven't seen these since I was in them. So that's how much he didn't like watch TV or go on the internet. So yeah, I truly believe he has no idea. Maybe now looking down, he's like, wow, I really did make a big difference.
yeah, I'm sure every other wrestling fan alive knows how important and how great he is. But are there any rivalries that you wish he had that he never did?
Good question.
Thank you.
Um, oh my God, him and I think Eddie Guerrero would be,
Oh, that would be so good.
yeah, or even like Mick Foley. I know
Oh
he
my
did, he
goodness.
worked Mick Foley, but Mick Foley was so young, but like a more developed Mick Foley in his
Hmm.
prime.
Yeah. Is there
That
a
could be
version of?
fun.
Hmm. Is there a
That could
version
be
of?
fun, but I think Eddie Guerrero and him would be more high flying, and so
Yeah.
they would match each other more. I think Will Ospreay even would be so
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I just
If
think
he,
those types of wrestlers.
yeah, if he did fight with Mick, what version of him would do you think would be best? Cactus Jack, Mankind, or just Mick
I'm gonna
Foley?
say I'm gonna say Mankind,
Yeah. Mankind is so great. So I think every single one of the people you named, I would love. I would pay so much money to watch those. Like that is
right?
amazing. Mhm.
Yeah, I know. I really like Will Ospreay. He's amazing. He's
Yeah, he's doing
like the
great
best.
right now.
He's like the best out there, I'd say. Like, he reminds me of my father a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I could totally see him as a future Hall of Famer in any Hall of Fame, but your dad, somehow he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't know how it hasn't happened yet. What are you doing to make him go into it?
Thank you so much for bringing that up because when you asked what I'm doing to keep his legacy alive, I forgot to mention that I am shooting for the Hall of Fame. Everything I am doing,
Mm.
my podcast, my traveling, my podcast, every single episode, I'm hashtagging like Dynamite Kid for Hall of Fame. So, we're just doing everything we can to keep his legacy alive and get as loud as we need to and hopefully be noticed. And we think the time will come. And I really think that the movie is going to help with that.
Mhm.
So we might kind of have to wait for that movie to come out, and it'll be, in 2026. 26 is my lucky number, and I just really think
Mhm.
that 2026 is the year for my father's legacy. The movie's going to come out, and things are just going to start rolling. And so share, share, share every episode that I do. Hashtag Dynamite Kid for Hall of Fame, and all my links to everything are on my Instagram as well. So make sure you check that out and follow along.
Yeah, definitely. No matter how long it takes, I'm positive when he gets into the Hall of Fame, it's gonna be so incredibly special.
It is because it's like overdue as well,
Oh yeah.
Sometimes each year you're like, really, this person's going in, like Donald Trump,
Yeah.
like things like that, like Snoop Dogg, like, okay, but what about Dynamite Kid? Like, what about the real professional worker here that deserves to be in there?
Hmm. Changing topics a little bit. Do you have any pre? Well, you're not in the ring for the matches, but do you have any pre-match rituals when you're the manager for some of the matches?
Uh, I fuss with my outfits a lot, so I'm huge into my wardrobe. So I'll usually have, honestly, at least three outfits a show. I usually have like an arrival outfit where I'll be kind of like sporty, and then I'll have like whatever it is for like a promo outfit, and then I'll have my match outfit, then I'll have like, the merch table outfit, and then I'll have an exiting outfit. So I'm just obsessed with fashion and I put these outfits together. But kind of the nerves, I guess, I'll be jittering in the bathroom, like, okay, more lipstick. Okay, yeah, more sparkles. Okay, like, because and I'm waiting back and forth, waiting for our turn to go out the curtain. And yeah, it's just what I do. It's like my nervous twitch, like doing makeup.
Yeah.
That's my ritual. More sparkles, more perfume.
Was there ever a time after you went into the business that you started losing motivation?
Um, I think so. Yes. I was kind of losing well, it was hard for me for a long time because finding that right person to work with as a manager and to have that vibe. A lot of times with like female managers, they are dating the wrestler. They're a couple. They're like usually real couples, right? That's what you see a lot of the time, like Macho Man and
Mm,
a lot of people today still. And so it's hard to find that vibe with somebody, the right fit. And I felt like I just wasn't finding that for a while. And so I kind of stepped away, and it was during COVID. So COVID got really difficult
yeah, that doesn't help either.
because, yeah, they were having wrestling shows, but remember there was like a capacity limit of like 100 people or something. And
Hmm.
hardly anyone would even go, and everyone's masked, and you can't shake hands at the merch table. And so that got really weird. And so I left for a little bit there. And then I came back more recently, probably about a year ago. And I just felt ready. I felt motivated. I felt like I said, I knew what I brought to the table. I knew who I was, and I was more comfortable in like who I am and what I have to offer. And so I just came back, and you fully have to believe in yourself, and the fans believe in you too, right? Like you really project um, what you're feeling inside. You can see that on the outside, and the fans feel that too. So you have to believe in yourself and just know and be secure in who you are.
Hmm. Do you ever face any struggles in the wrestling business being a female?
Absolutely, yeah. I think again that there's a lot of competition between women. I'm not a wrestler, so luckily I don't think that I experience it as much as maybe female wrestlers do because they sometimes they're jealous of each other. Like that's just how girls are naturally, even in school or sports, jobs, friendships. It's not just in the wrestling locker room, but girls can be jealous of each other and think that they're instead of like lifting each other up and building each other up, they think that they're competition. So that can
Mhm.
be tricky. But I think for me as well, growing up with like the Attitude Era and
Mhm.
which I'm all about like the 90s Attitude Era.
Yeah,
Trish Stratus was probably the
oh,
reason I got back into wrestling
yeah,
around high
she's
school.
amazing.
Um, yeah, I love her. Canadian as well.
Hmm.
But there's that pressure to be sexy and to be like the girls. Like I follow all the girls in WWE and professional wrestling, other promotions as well. I follow them all on Instagram and they all look flawless. And of course they have makeup artists and they have, some of them have chefs or, whatever professional or sorry, trainers to keep them in shape. Like
Oh
they have
yeah.
all these things that maybe not everyone has access to. And so it's really, really brutal comparing yourself to people at that level, thinking that we have to look that good. I have to be that in shape. I have to like, just all the time be on with my makeup and my hair and my body. And so there is that pressure of feeling, that you have to look good all the time because you're comparing yourself to these professional athletes on
Do you
social
think?
media. It's very difficult.
Do you think the fact that they have all these extra resources makes a lot of other people lose motivation?
I think it can. I think it can be a deadly spiral, just social media in general. So for me, I don't really compare myself. I actually use those people to inspire me, even with um, like trends, fashion trends. Like I'll see what they're wearing, and so it doesn't affect me that way anymore. But I think at a time it probably did. And so you just have to make sure that your feed is like healthy for you and um, the algorithm is healthy for you. So I have so much positivity on my algorithm, like positive quotes, fuzzy kitties, like things that I love. Um, you know, Hello Kitty. I'm obsessed with Hello Kitty. So my feed is just full of positivity and I don't see negativity. So I think that's just very important so that you don't kind of fall down that
Yeah.
um, expectation. The expectations are high and yeah.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, it's honestly pretty hard to change the algorithm to do that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just gotta do what I do in your search bar.
Yeah.
Fat animals.
Yeah.
I got lots of fat animals on there.
Mhm. Last night I went to a wrestling show and it was insane. For you being a part of the shows, what is something that really caught you off guard and surprised you?
Like something that's happened at a show.
Hmm.
Mm, I don't know. It's a hard question. Was this a local show you went to, or did you have
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the
Uh,
Plateau, Montreal.
Probably. I mean, just being a mother, I have that tendency to be a little bit paranoid of injuries.
Mhm.
So probably just seeing like absolutely crazy stunts or
Yeah.
people being careless with blood. I think that is probably something that would shock me. Because sometimes, I don't mind the blood, whatever happens, but sometimes they're careless and you're like, are you kidding me? There's like kids front row. You have to be very careful with that type of stuff. So I would say just that kind of thing is the most shocking and just crazy, crazy stunts
Hmm. Is there
at
any
an indie show that you're like, oh my God, like
Oh, the indie shows are
you're
insane.
hardly getting paid and you're like risking your body, but okay,
Yeah.
you do you.
Are there any misconceptions about wrestling that a lot of people think that are not even close to true?
Oh, everyone thinks it's fake.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
since I was a kid, right? Like, oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, right? It's fake. It's like, well, my dad ended up in a wheelchair, so, and all these surgeries. So, like, no, it's not fake. Like, sure,
Hmm.
it's predetermined, but they're really putting their body through all that
Hmm.
concrete floor, tables, metal chairs, like metal chairs to their heads. Like, you can't really fake that.
Yeah. Those people are just uneducated, to be honest. Like the
Yes.
show I went to last night, I talked with one of the wrestlers. He said it was the hardest ring he's ever wrestled in. Apparently, it has zero give, and you
Yeah.
just, you can't fake gravity. So those people are just uneducated.
Yes, there are some rings like that as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Been around those ones.
Yeah.
And neat. Then there's the really soft ones. I'm always wearing like big heels and I get into the ring and it's like so bouncy. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fall on my heels. So that
I've,
takes talent, people. I'll have you know that takes talent walking in the
mhm.
ring on a
Oh
like
yeah.
the cloud in my heels.
I've seen a video of a ring. I think it's at the WWE Performance Center where it's basically just like really fluffy. It's for the people that are training, and I
Oh,
don't know
okay, yeah.
how you just walk on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably no heels.
Yeah. Would you say you're very different from your character of the Dynamite Doll?
No, I would say she's very much a reflection of who I really am.
Hmm.
Um, I have multiple different sides of me, even with my fashion. Like I can dress like a businesswoman in a blazer, or I'll dress lately I'm super into my bucket hats. So like I'll dress like a hip hop artist, or I love heavy metal and rock and roll. So like I could be an all leather rock and roll. I have many different sides of me, and so the Dynamite doll is like that sweet girl next door, but also that edgy side of her that could get involved in the match at any moment. So piss her off and find out what'll happen. So there's those two sides of me. Dynamite, I'm explosive, but I'm also a sweet doll. So
Mhm.
it's very much who I am in real life. And I think that being the most true to who I am, um, if I am that in the ring, it becomes so much easier to just play that in the ring because I'm really just being myself. So I
Mhm.
find that that works best for me.
Yeah. I think that's just a message to be on your good side, eh?
Yes,
Don't want to get
don't
on your
piss me
bad
off.
side.
I am a Gemini. Let's just say I'm a Gemini.
Oh, me
And I
too.
know you're. Oh, no, wait, when's your birthday?
June 9th.
Okay, yeah, I'm the 26th. So,
Pretty
like I
close,
said,
eh?
20. Yeah, you're like over maybe 10 days after me or so. Or wait, more than that, 2 weeks.
Mhm. Have you formed any
Right?
long-lasting friendships in wrestling outside of the ring?
I have. I really, really have. I'm super blessed that since the internet came out, like Facebook started in the kind of early 2000s, I was able to connect with people around the world. And then, of course, I got on Instagram and Twitter. And um, I have made some of my best friends around the world by just linking up, meeting on social media and talking about wrestling. So they aren't necessarily even wrestlers, they're just fans of wrestling. And I met some of my best friends that way. That's even how I met my agent in Philadelphia was online. Well, he saw that I was coming to Philadelphia and he wasn't going to be in town for that show. And he was like, "Oh, I hope you have a great show. Like, I really would have loved to have met you." And so we connected and we became friends. And then the next time I was coming, I hired him as my agent. So um, I have met so many wonderful people, and not only just regular people off the streets, but also wrestlers as well. Like my best friend, Black Dahlia, she's from
Mhm.
Ohio,
Mhm.
and we first met in Philadelphia as well. And now we're wrestling besties. I'm in Canada, she's in the States, but I've met so many and, you know, maintained so many friendships through wrestling. I'm very, very lucky. And it's fun meeting people around the world because then you have an excuse to travel and go see them.
Yeah, well, traveling's amazing, and making your best friend that way, that is so cool. So,
Yeah.
the wrestling fans, they are amazing. There's some idiots, but they're also amazing.
Yeah, they're so loyal. That's what I loved about Philadelphia is the first time I went there, I didn't realize what an impact my dad had on that area. My dad loved Philadelphia, and that was why I really wanted to go there. And everyone was just like, I watched your dad wrestle in Philadelphia or New York because it's not too
Mhm.
far from there. And they all were sharing their memories with me, and they all made sure to come talk to me and tell me how great my dad was. And it was just such a good feeling and so appreciated.
Mhm. I have to ask though, I see the Stampede Wrestling poster behind you. My dad's from Halifax, so I went to a lot of Grand Prix wrestling shows. Do you ever remember
Yeah.
hearing your dad talk about that since he was working for the rival company?
Um, no, I don't remember my dad talking about it, but my mom has told me. So this summer I went to um New Brunswick.
Oh, nice.
So that was my first time out there. I did a wrestling show out there, and so not quite Halifax, but it was my first time out east.
Mhm.
So I did hear some stories and got to watch some old tapes at my buddy's house, and I think my dad liked it out there. Yeah, he did. He really liked it out there.
Mhm. How is it in
Yeah.
New Brunswick? I've only been there driving through to get to Halifax.
So it was pretty small. It's a small city. We were in Fredericton,
Mhm.
but it was great. Oh my gosh, like the people there are so kind. I just
Yeah.
really noticed, if you go to a restaurant and your waitress or even the maids in the hotel, everyone is so happy. And I think it's just like that kind of a slower pace of life and everyone's happy and I don't know. Well, the ocean is close by too, right? So I think
Mhm.
that ocean air is like I don't have that here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Well,
great.
I'm
Everyone's so
in
friendly.
I'm in Quebec, pretty stereotypically not very kind, not very friendly, but everywhere past Quebec, I went to Halifax like a week or two ago, and everyone was so kind. They actually stopped for
Right?
you if you were walking across the street. You'll never see that
Wow.
here.
Is Halifax large? I've never been there. Is it
Uh,
a smaller?
well, I haven't seen the map, but most of it
Mm,
is more downtown.
yeah, it's probably bigger than where I was.
Mm.
Yeah, I would love to go to PEI, Newfoundland. So I definitely want to go back out next summer. And it's actually not far to get to Montreal either. We're actually in New Brunswick. I think
Hmm.
it's only like an hour drive, my friend said. So
Yeah.
I could do both.
Yeah, I haven't traveled that much, but when I do travel, I love it and I want to travel more, but I don't always get the chance.
Oh, you're so young yet. You got a whole life ahead of you.
Is there a favorite city or favorite country that you've been to?
I love Philadelphia. So that's
Hmm.
why I'm frequenting there. I'm going there in 3 weeks. It's gonna be my third time going since last July.
Nice.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, there's so much more opportunity over there for like wrestling. It's really
Hmm.
hard in Canada. It's very expensive to be flown out from Canada to the States or, you know, so in the States there's so much more opportunity. So I'm just trying to frequent that as much as I can and get my dad's name out there. So I want to go to Japan next, though. I really, really want to go to
Oh,
Japan.
I'd love to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm surprised because I've always been like, I love Canada. I'm blessed to have been born here and raised here, but the States is calling my name a little bit just because I feel like there's more opportunity. So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I'm moving or anything. It just means I'm going to
Hmm.
be frequenting it more, and I love it more than I realized.
Hmm. I'm sure there will be a lot more opportunities through the coming years in Canada, though.
Yeah, I hope so. There's
Hmm.
more wrestling happening in like Toronto and stuff like that. And Toronto's so close to get to the States as well, so it's
Hmm.
easier over there. And even like Vancouver, it's 1 hour to get to Seattle. So it's just here in Calgary, I'm kind of secluded. But yeah, with the wrestling convention happening in Montreal recently, like I hope that they continue that every year and there'll just be more and more opportunities. And hopefully we'll get a convention over here. That would be great.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I went to New York, I think it was actually a year ago in a few days, and I don't know why, but I felt so honored just seeing the Madison Square Garden because it's such a historic building.
Yep, yep. I know
Hmm.
my dad wrestled there. That's awesome. I've never been to New York. You're lucky.
Yeah, it's a great city. I'd love to go back, but with everything going on, I'm not sure if I will soon.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of crazy right now. And
Hmm.
expensive.
Oh
Our
yeah.
dollar is not good. Yeah.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite match of you, Dan?
I have a hard time answering that because I'm very even with music, like my favorite band or my
Hmm.
favorite songs, like I can't pick because I like different aspects of things. So I love pretty much anything with my dad and Tiger Mask. I have to probably put up there at the top. But of course, I love the old matches with Heart Foundation and the British Bulldogs. So those are kind of my two that I say. I don't have a particular match, but just anything with the Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation, they all train together. They're all brother-in-laws. So
Hmm.
there's so much um what's the word I'm looking for? So much their energies were synced. Like
Hmm.
they all trained in the dungeon. They all did the Stampede Wrestling. They all moved up to WWF together. So there was so much synergy there and just so cool to watch. And like,
Hmm.
yeah, but my dad in Tiger Mask just it's so captivating. It's hard to take your eyes off of it. There was nothing like it at the time. I still feel like there's really nothing like it when you watch it today, even so many years later. So
Yeah, it's
I
hard
love
to
Tiger Mask.
choose. He's been
Yeah,
wrestling for so long and had so many great matches.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I mean, he had some cool matches in Stampede Wrestling with Bad News Brown, Bad News Allen. Him and Owen Hart had a pretty
Oh,
cool
yeah.
street fight.
Owen was
So
amazing though.
yeah, yeah, that maybe would have been a cool feud as well. See more of that
Yeah.
progress as Owen got a little older. That would have been nice to see.
Hmm. So hold on, I'm just gonna have a sip of water. Sorry about that. All the screaming from last night at that show hurts my throat.
Oh, well, that's how you got to let it out. It's such
Hmm.
a release. I remember taking my youngest siblings there from my mom's second marriage. They're twins, and I'm 17 years older than them. So
Oh wow.
my brother was about I think 10 years old, and I took him to an indie wrestling show with my mom. And there's other kids that were regulars that were always front row with their parents, and they're swearing, and they're screaming and they're swearing, and they're always there. And so my brother's like, "You can do that here?" He's like, "You can just like yell and swear at the wrestlers." And my mom's like, "Yeah, go for it." And so my brother just like starts swearing, and it was so funny. I'm like, right on. That's what it's all about.
Hmm. Did your dad ever tell you stories about what it was like training inside the dungeon?
Um, no, I mean, my dad didn't. My dad was a man of very little words, but I know that him and Stu Hart had a really, really incredible bond. Stu loved my dad. And
Hmm.
so he kind of treated him like a son. And my dad looked up to him as like a father, really, because he came all the way from England at such a young age. And he came here to train with the Hart family. And so they had a really special bond. And my dad came from a place of the Wigan Snake Pit where they trained. And it was just as grueling as like the dungeon. So my dad could take it. So Stu had a lot of respect for my father. And yeah.
Hmm. Do you think your dad liked being in Stampede Wrestling more or in WWF?
Um, maybe Stampede just because
That's where he
the
started off.
traveling and yeah,
Hmm.
like the traveling because he had a wife back home and like young kids and the schedule was so grueling back then.
Yeah.
So, but I imagine he probably made more on the road. But I know that you know, if they had the choice to pick what time their flight would leave or whatever after the wrestling shows, he'd always try to get home as soon as possible. So
Hmm.
I think it was easier being in Stampede because it was local, except if they were driving to like Regina in the winter and stuff, that's like an 8-hour drive, and they would do
Hmm.
like drive there in the winter and drive back home after. So, it's a good question. I'm not too sure, but overall, Japan was his favorite. He
Hmm.
loved Japan. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
just work Japan forever if he could have.
Yeah, Japan's amazing. Their wrestling scene right now is like booming.
Yeah, I cannot wait to go up there. Plus, like I said, I'm a Hello Kitty fan, so I'm just gonna go crazy there. I'm not gonna be able to handle myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that's booming is the evolution of women's wrestling. Being a part of that and being alive to see it. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's awesome, especially watching my cousin Maddie in there. She's been a huge part of
Oh,
that,
she's
Natalia.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, I've been a big fan of, Total Bella or not Total Bellas, sorry, Total Divas and
Hmm.
all that. They kind of started that whole era of well, they stopped calling them divas, right? It was called
Hmm.
Total Divas. That was the show, right? Yeah, and then they stripped that name away from them because they're like they're more than just divas.
Hmm.
They're athletes. They are doing the work just as hard as the men are, and they're personally, the women are my favorite part of WWF. I don't watch a
Yeah.
ton of it anymore, but I will tune in for all the females. Like I said, I follow all of them to see what they're doing, and I'll watch their clips. And it's super awesome seeing women main event now, and
Hmm.
yeah, and they're just kicking ass, like just as much as the men.
Hmm. Yeah, no disrespect to the men in all the companies, but for some of the shows, not all of them, but some of the shows, I really feel like the women are better.
Oh, I love that. I'm not the only one that thinks so.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
the
know. I'm
fact.
just a bunch of the guys. I'm like, okay, same old. Seen you so many times, but the
Mhm.
women are exciting to me. Like they're working their asses off, and they look amazing doing it. So
Yeah,
there's that.
main eventing WrestleMania. That's so cool that they got to do that too. And Evolution, the pay per view, amazing.
Hmm. Yes, big fan of Tiffy Time right now.
Mm.
She's probably one of my favorites that I'm watching. And then Natty, she's been branching out into more like I don't know, is it MMA? Not really MMA, but
I wouldn't say MMA, but I get what you mean. Like, I think because her ring name in WWE just goes by Natalia, but that character she debuted it on big television. I think it was AAA, the
yeah.
Natty Neidhart character.
Well, yeah, it's not MMA, but I guess I don't know what you call it. It's more like mat
Hmm.
wrestling. So it's super cool seeing, her branch out in a different area and like showcase a different side of her because she was born and raised into this, and clearly she's an amazing amazing shape, the best shape of her life. And yeah, it's just cool to see her get to go to other promotions and do different things and not be held back. So I think it's cool that the promotion's kind of letting them do that now with the new ownership.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see that character in WWE. She would dominate with that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very, I know she's close with Ronda Rousey, so that's why I said
Mhm.
MMA, because it's like she
Yeah.
kind of has that going on with the jacket and the braids, and yeah, it's pretty badass. Her whole entourage.
Hmm. I gotta ask about something you said earlier. It's how much you love music. You said you can't, pinpoint your favorite artist or your favorite song, but what type of genres do you like?
Heavy metal is my favorite. So
Hmm.
Marilyn Manson has been my favorite for a long time, but right now I'm kind of going through some weird, like my taste is all over the map, and he's been my favorite since I was actually like your age. And his most recent album wasn't my favorite. I did see him in concert in that album. I actually got to meet him, and that was awesome. But now I'm kind of, right now, I'm huge into Youngblood.
Mm.
I just saw Oasis in LA, and so I'm like huge into Oasis again. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm huge into Miley Cyrus. Um, so I like pop, I like hip hop, but for my number one genre is honestly like heavy metal. Like
Hmm.
loud, crank it in the morning. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say specifically heavy metal. Heavy metal is my favorite, but I love basically any kind of rock.
that's
50s
awesome.
rock, punk rock, all of it.
Yeah, I was just before this interview getting ready, I was listening to I love old Madonna, like 80s Madonna. My dad loved
Hmm.
Madonna, so I love Madonna. So I was listening to Madonna and then it kind of switched to just like 80s rock and I was vibing, I was feeling it. So I also love 70s rock.
Oh yeah.
I love 90s. I'm really stuck in the 90s. I love 2000s um like screamo stuff from the
Hmm.
2000s and yeah. And then I'm kind of getting into more like current hip hop, I guess. Kind of
Hmm.
dabbling into that. Trying to get my teenager to show me what's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my
But
favorite
I
bands
don't
from.
like, I hate country though. So I like everything but
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, I'm not that big into country either. But one of my favorite bands, I think it was more in the 90s, is definitely Nirvana. They are amazing.
Yes. Do you know Deftones?
I don't
Have you
think I've
heard of
heard
them?
of them, no.
No. So they were a 90s band. Like a metal, I guess metal, I guess we'll call them a metal band, but like skateboarders are super into them. You'd see a lot of their music and skateboarding videos, and I finally just saw them like a month ago. I've been a fan of them since again being your age, and it was so good. It was such an awesome concert.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure my dad knows about them, so I'll definitely ask him after. But meeting them, how amazing was that for you?
Oh, meeting? Oh, I didn't get to meet them,
Oh.
but I met. Oh, sorry, I met Marilyn Manson.
Hmm.
I went. Yeah, so he's been my favorite, and he came close to my birthday as
Oh,
kind of a
nice.
birthday gift. And so we did like he was doing like a meet and greet package. And it was very overpriced, but I was like, this has been my favorite since I was 13 years old.
Mm.
And, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, let's just do it. So my husband and I did it. And so they had like a black tent,
Mhm.
kind of. And like, there's a big lineup. And then you would go into the tent and you get to go see him. And then you get your picture and then you get your autograph. You'd get two autographs. You'd get a signed poster and then whatever else you wanted signed. So I was having such a panic attack because I really don't like meeting famous people because I don't want to be like,
Mhm.
like all fangirl. And I wanted to go in alone because I wanted my own picture. So I think my husband went first and then I went next. And I was just like shaking. I was like, I've never been so nervous in my life. And I go in this dark tent and Marilyn Manson is so tall and he's got like a cowboy hat on. He's got like his colored contacts and he's listening to David Bowie. It's dark in there and there's like incense burning. And then I was just like, oh my God. I was trying to spit out the words. At the time, I was working as Dolly Manson in the Manson family faction. And so I gave him one of my Dolly Manson stickers where I'm wearing a Marilyn Manson like bathing suit. And so I was like, I'm in a wrestling faction. It's called the Manson family. Here's my sticker. And like, I just couldn't spit out the words. I was just like, word vomit. And he was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And like, he gave me two hugs. So I was like, okay, he really
Oh,
thought it was
nice.
cool because he gave me two hugs. And then I got him to sign my poster, and I got him to sign my arm because I was gonna go get a tattoo. But I
Oh
didn't get
wow.
it tattooed. Like he signed here, and he did it so huge. I thought he would just do the M, like one M and then
Mhm.
another M, but he did it massive. And so the next day I was like, okay, well, I don't really have the money to go get this tattooed today. So I just took a picture of it and I plan on going back and getting it another time. But I might put it on my leg or I might just take the M's, the two M's at the start, because he did his full Marilyn
Mhm.
Manson and made it massive. And so I might just do the M's and put them there. But I can always do that later. I took a picture and so I'll just take that in and that'll be the stencil. But it was the most nerve-wracking minute of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's so
definitely.
cool. I looked so happy in the picture. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely wanted everyone to know that you were a fan.
mhm.
I think the only backstage place I've gone for a show, I think it was Bisto Blanco. It's Alice Cooper's daughter's band, and it was
Yeah.
amazing. I was like 6, maybe 5 years old, honestly. I went with my dad and now someone who's my drama teacher because my dad and her are family friends, and she told me the only thing I was asking for was McDonald's, and I have no memory of that at all.
Oh, that's awesome. So you sound like my daughter is 6 years old, and we took her to her first concert. You know, we took her to Kiss, the farewell tour
Oh
of
wow,
Kiss. That was
yeah.
her first concert. She's a big Kiss fan. My daughter is probably going to be a singer. She's very talented naturally, and she loved it. So she would have been about 4, maybe 5 when we took her to that. So sounds like you were raised very similar.
Yeah, my dad made sure to always raise me on rock and roll and horror movies, so. Mhm.
Oh, good man.
Oh yeah.
What's your dad's favorite band? You know,
Um, he's right here, but it's probably the Ramones
nice, super cool.
or his band, the Screaming Demons. Every song is based off a horror movie that they all love.
Ooh, he's in a band.
Screaming Demons.
Oh, I'll have to check him out. So I'm not huge. It's weird because wrestling, rock music, and horror movies are all like connected. Like everyone loves those things, right? I don't like scary movies. I can't do it.
Mm.
That's the one thing I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
I
This.
used to. I used to when I was younger, and then I became a mom, and then I became more like paranoid. And like, so if it's realistic, I can't watch it. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, I'll have nightmares. Yeah,
Yeah. This month we're making sure to watch a horror movie every single day of the month.
that's what my husband does. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
am. I'm gonna watch. Have you watched House of a Thousand Corpses?
Not yet, but probably we'll watch that this month.
I'm gonna watch that because Rene Dupree actually told me that I reminded him of the character Baby in the movie. Like
Mm.
my character that I was playing in the Manson family, Dolly Manson, he's like, you are perfect for the role of Baby. So I want to watch it. I'm gonna actually watch it, and I'm gonna like study her character and just try to throw that more into my repertoire of who the Dynamite Doll is.
Yeah. That's amazing. And if he's wrong, he's wrong. If he's right, that's kind of cool to
I,
see.
I think he's probably right because she's like a cutesy, like cute girl next door, but then a little batshit crazy at the same time. So I think that's exactly, you know, more what I need to bring to the table. So I'll see. We'll both see when we watch it and we can talk about it.
Yeah. I'll I'll try and watch it tonight so I can make sure
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it
to
very soon
remember
too.
this.
Yeah.
Mhm. Are there any horror movies that you can handle?
I mean, I mean, back in the day, when I was a teenager, it was like the Scream movies
Hmm.
and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like I liked those. And I grew up like I watched Chucky and It and stuff like that. And that was back when we would go to Blockbuster. You probably don't even know what Blockbuster is, but and rent movies. You'd rent them for the weekend. So yeah, we used to rent scary movies back then, and I could handle it. But I don't know. I don't know. I used to be really into like murder shows too, and now I just
Mm.
like no. Like I said, the positivity algorithm. I'm like, yeah, I just got to keep everything like sunshine and rainbows. That's how I like it.
Yeah, my dad never worked there, but he did work at another video store. He tells me all about that. We have a huge
Okay.
wall of movies all across our house, and he got
Oh,
most of them from when the place closed down. He just took a bunch of them. So there's a
Oh, do you
ton
guys
here.
have VHSs?
Not much because we don't have the system, but I'm sure
Uh,
if we did, we'd watch a ton of those.
yeah.
But
My
yeah,
dad sounds similar to my husband. He's a movie guy. My husband's a musician as well,
oh
and
nice.
into wrestling, so they would get along great.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
they would. Is your husband in a band or a band?
Not currently. He was in his younger days. He was in a metal band. He was the drummer, but he plays more fluently, well, now guitar, and he sings as well. They were in a band, like a more like rock band, but it kind of stopped. I don't know. Maybe it was like around COVID, I would say. So yeah, he's not really currently playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
One
just at
thing
home
that
alone.
mm, one thing that matches both wrestling and movies. There's a movie called well, there's a ton of wrestling movies, but there's one called Dark Match with Chris Jericho in it.
Oh, I watched it. I
Oh
went to the
yeah,
theater. Yeah, they did the what do you call that when they like
the
the red
world
carpet
premiere.
event?
Hmm.
Yeah, they did the Calgary one. I went and actually went with Chris and like sat right next to him and watched it with him. And
Oh
I was
awesome.
like, oh my God, because I don't like scary movies. I was like, am I gonna be able to handle this? And
Yeah,
quite a few of my friends are in the movie because yeah, they're from here, they're wrestlers and they know Chris Jericho. And so a couple of my friends are in the movie. So I was like, I want to go support. And I was just like, don't mind me. I don't like scary movies in case I'm like scared. But I was able to handle that one.
that's good.
It
That's
wasn't
awesome though.
too it wasn't too realistic, where they
Hmm.
like show heads cut off and stuff. That's
Yeah,
what I can't handle.
yeah, I like that
But that
movie.
was a good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I went to the red carpet event in Montreal. I got Chris Jericho's signature on an AEW belt. The guy's super nice, and there were a
Yeah,
bunch
he's great.
of independent wrestlers from Montreal promoting the movie, so it was a great experience.
Oh, that's so good. Did you go through Dad?
Oh yeah, every time.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
a
was
good
at
movie.
Fantasia.
You know the guy with the mask on? He's got the
Uh,
mask
I think
in the
so. Yeah.
movie. And he had one hilarious line. That's my friend Mo from Calgary. So
Oh
he
yeah,
had like the
I
best.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing
can't
though.
remember what his line was because he didn't talk the whole movie and then he had one line and everyone laughed. It was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the line either, but I do remember everyone laughing when he
It
said
was like
something.
was it kayfabe or something? He said something like that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure, but that is
Yeah.
amazing that a lot of them were your friends.
Yeah, super cool.
Were they there with you watching the movie?
They were there, yeah. So they had all the talent all sat in one row, and then because Chris invited me and all my cousins were there, so sitting with my cousins, but then Chris was like, "No, come sit with me," and I was like, "I'm not gonna sit in the
Mhm.
talent row," but he was like, "It's okay, just come sit with me." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah,
I was sitting in the talent row, but yeah, they were all there.
yeah. You're not gonna say no to Chris Jericho inviting you to
I
sit
know.
next to him.
Yeah, like I don't get to see him often, so I was like,
Yeah,
all right.
but yeah, he was a really nice guy when we met him.
Yeah, it's because he's Canadian.
Yeah, it always is.
Yeah.
Um, so for the last question, again, thank you for making this, just setting it up.
Yeah, of
But
course.
for someone like me who wants to become a wrestler, what is your advice?
Well, I would definitely start training young.
Hmm.
If you already know you want to get in there and do it, then you might as well start training. Do your research of where you're going to do your training, and make sure you're doing everything. Like you need to be eating correctly. You want to be going to the gym because there are injuries, so your bones need to be strong.
Hmm.
And just really believe in yourself and don't let people make you feel less than. It's very hard in this industry comparing yourself to others, like I was saying, but
Hmm.
just know yourself, know what you bring to the table, believe in yourself, and that's always going to shine through. It's very important because if you're doing negative self-talk, if you're like, oh, I'm not good at this, oh, it shows. You gotta
Hmm.
like do that positive self-talk and build yourself up, and it's gonna help um, your confidence.
Hmm. The wrestling show I went to last night, they invited me to go tomorrow because the training is then, and they said I'm too young to start training, but they want to bring me down so they could show me what goes on there, and they said I could also
Yeah,
help out with their next show there, so that's amazing, in my
that's
opinion.
a great way to get your foot in the door. Yes, I forgot that you are. what, 13?
Mhm.
Um, but start going to the gym even, just start,
Mhm.
work on your cardio, stuff like that. Do what you can. But yeah, if you get your foot in the door and you're helping set up the ring, and you can watch them while they're practicing their wrestling moves, things like that. That's going to be so beneficial for you when you're ready to get in the ring and, start training.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I've had a blast doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank
Yes.
you
Can you
so
tell me
much.
how you pronounce your name?
It's Saber.
Saber. Oh,
Hmm.
that's so cool.
It's written
Is that a
differently,
common
but
name?
uh, I've never met anyone else with the name.
That's like a saber-toothed tiger.
Hmm.
Is that?
The only other person I know with the name is Zack Saber Jr.
Oh, I love it. That's super cool. Thank you so much for having me. I've had so much fun, and
Thank you.
I wish you all the best in everything you're doing. You're already killing it, so I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I hope I can meet you next time in Montreal.
Yeah, hopefully next time.
Okay.
But
Well, we'll be in touch about that movie.
definitely. Bye.
Okay. Bye.